everybody. Happy New Year. How long can you actually say Happy New Year? Because can we, if we took it once we're one day beyond half the year, so in July, does that mean it's no longer the new year because we're closer to the 2019? I don't quite know the rule on that, but I'm going to say it anyway. Happy New Year. Thank you for taking your time to come out here tonight to the webinar with 3Believe. We're here because we're believers, and we believe in a lot of things. One of the things that we believe in, which is emphasized by our title and name, is, we believe the pancreas has the ability to regenerate itself if we give it the foods that it needs. We believe that the liver can defat itself and cleanse itself in as little as 18 weeks if we give it the right foods to be able to do that. And we believe that even if our digestive enzymes are weak and we're digesting less than half of the foods that we're eating, which is identified by a national study that all Americans are digesting their food at 47% of the quality. That means that you're paying twice as much for the food that you're paying for. I mean, you're only getting half the value. Terrible. That it can be rebuilt and up to 100%. Those are the three things that we believe in, but we believe in other things. And as you listen to more of the information, we will tell you more about that. Now, I appreciate the time that you've taken to come out here to learn about how we can overcome the symptoms that cause those issues, that cause metabolic syndrome, that causes obesity and overweight, that causes high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, digestive disorders, and all the string of other sister symptoms that come out of that. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not probably gonna be my normal self tonight. I felt a little down. Actually, I was going to not do the webinar tonight. A few hours ago, actually from about 2 o'clock on, I just was not the top of my game, and it got worse and worse and worse. And so I will bow out after I give my little speech, and Callie will come in and give the rest of the call. But let me tell you why. Why am I not the top of my game? I don't have a cold. The CDC says that the flu season is one of the worst ever recorded. In fact, Utah, where I am at, is listed as one of the worst states that has flu. It's terrible. And so that's not the problem. So one of the things that I do is I do a lot of research. And good or bad, whatever it may be, I test myself constantly. For you, I put myself in a situation of being a guinea pig. Well, there are doctors that are literally, a new trend is doctors are telling their patients not to go on a diet to lose weight. If they're overweight, if they're obese, they're telling them not to go on a diet. When I first read that, I was pulling my hair out going, what? I love doctors, but sometimes these men and women in this profession are crazy. What do you mean not go on a diet? Well, because studies have come back and they tell them, these doctors, that almost in every case, these people that go on these diets, the popular diets that are out there, you've been on them, you've heard about them. They go on these diets and they lose this weight, and then they don't maintain the diet that they were on that lost the weight, and then they go off the diet, and then they gain the weight back. Well, here's what the study found. It found that the amount of fat that they had and the amount of muscle that they had and the amount of hydration that they had before the diet, the muscle and the hydration is less after they gain the weight back. What does that mean? It means that the people are actually fatter. They weigh the same amount and they're fatter than they were before they started the diet. But that's not the worst of it. The trend is that on average, the people gain about 5 pounds more after the diet, after they've gained the weight back, than they were before they started the diet. So not only is their body composition more fatty, even though they weighed the same, now they just added another 5 pounds of fat. So the doctors say, look, we got to be responsible professionals and tell them they're actually better off, they're healthier before they went on the diet, even though they're in an unhealthy state. So we just got to tell them, stay where you are, wish for the best, thumbs up, good luck, eat more vegetables. That's the problem with goofy diets. That's the problem with diets that are not rooted in science. Now, not all science is great. I'm telling you, I'm one of the first people to stand on the soapbox, not soup box. I love soup, but I don't stand on the boxes of them. Soapbox that science sometimes comes out with the dumbest, craziest, unfounded things in the world. However, there's good science out there. And if you look at the good science that's peer-reviewed, means other research labs have confirmed their data, that it's accurate, that we need to diet. Now we just need to do a macro balanced diet. Now what does that mean? It means macro balance, macronutrients are simply, you can remember this. Put down your pen and paper. You don't need to write this down. Macronutrients are just 3 things: proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. That's the only place we get energy from. Those of you that are drinking coffee or drinking your Coca-Cola, they get your energy boost. It's not energy, that's adrenaline. Because there is no calories in anything unless it's a macronutrient. So the secret that the science says is that you got to balance those macronutrients, meaning how much is the protein supposed to be, and how much is the fat supposed to be, and how much are the carbs supposed to be in each one of our meals that I'm eating. Well, that's the secret, and that's the one that we have, that we are telling you. We know that secret. Why? Because we've read over 600 clinical studies that said so. So, that's why we're here. That's why we have a message to tell. So, back to why I'm not feeling at the top of my game. So, I tested myself. Well, what I did is when I started this program 10 years ago, man, we're going on 11 years now, that I gained between 35 and 40 pounds and lost it when I came up with a new formula, because I needed to test it. I used myself first before I talked to you about it, and then I'd come out with a new formula, something new, new research, and then I'd gain 35 pounds, and then I'd lose it, and then I'd gain 35. I did that 6 times over the course of the last 10 years. And I realized, actually it was on the last one, it was the last time I did that, which was about 2.5 years ago, I read the study. Man, I wish I would have read this study sooner. I read this study and it said, everybody has a fat thermostat. Now, that term is not new. That's old stuff. But they said that when you gain weight and then lose it, you're at your weight and you gain the weight and then you lose it, then you gain it back, your fat thermostat raises to a higher temperature. So kind of think about your thermostat in your home, your furnace, okay? So you're downstairs in the basement and you say it's a voice-controlled thermostat. I'm making this up. Voice-controlled thermostat, all you have to do is say, raise the temperature 2 degrees. Thermostat raises up 2 degrees. I think we need one of those. That's an awesome tool. It raises up 2 degrees. Then after a little while, you're getting too hot. You say, lower it 3 degrees. And then it lowers back down. Well, the thermostat's really smart. It's just doesn't lower it 3 degrees. It lowers it 1 degree. It readjusts what temperature it thinks you really need to have. And that's what your body does with a fat thermostat. When you gain weight, lose it, and gain it, your body says, well, I guess I need more fat to be able to survive and to be healthy. So every time, and Americans do this, I'm telling you, this is called the yo-yo syndrome, the yo-yo diet. We lose it, we gain it, we lose it, we gain it. We do these crazy fad diets, and for heaven's sakes, it's not good for us because it raises our fat thermostat. Now here's the problem side. No matter what you do, it seems like you can't get back down to where you were before 2 or 3 or 5 diets before. Well, that's terrible. And that's what I found myself in. My normal weight, my healthy weight, is between 193 and 198 pounds. That's my weight, okay? But since I started this company, I found myself, now don't get me wrong, I had lost and gained weight prior to starting this company. But in the last 10 years, I lost and gained, like I said, 6 times 30 to 40 pounds. And I couldn't, I'm the maker of the product, right? I'm the food scientist. I'm the one that reads all this science all the time. I should know what to do. And I mean, I got all the stuff in the plant. I can, getting at it's not the problem. And I could not get my weight down below 212 pounds. I couldn't do it. I would work out twice a day. Now, I'm not talking about going to the gym and getting on the cycle. I'm a college wrestler, okay? Wrestlers, we know how to work out. I played football in high school. I was All-American. I know how to push hard. So I'm working out twice a day at the gym. I'm following the protocol, phase 1, and I could not break below 212 for the life of me. So I wish I would have read that study before I sacrificed my body because I couldn't break it. Very, very frustrating. But then I got a new study. Something new. That's why I'm always reading. And this study said that perhaps we can lower the fat thermostat. There's not a ton of research out on it yet, so we don't know exactly why. But it said fasting. Now, you've heard me talk about intermittent fasting. This is a radical fast. Now, those of you that read the Bible, you know that Jesus, he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, when I first read that as a young man, I thought, well, of course he did. He's the Son of God. I mean, he's part God, right? Only gods can do that. Well, the study talks about people fasting for up to 44 days. Now, this is what's different than Jesus' fast. They had a water fast. They didn't eat any food, no calories, but they drank lots of water. Now, I wasn't willing to do that because as a food scientist, I know the importance of your vitamins and minerals. Got to have digestive enzymes, okay? And got to have your electrolytes, your sodium and magnesium, potassium, and calcium, okay? So I added that, but there's no calories there anyway in those ingredients. So I added that, and I started a fast. I don't know what most I've ever fasted before for religious reasons was 2 days, but that was without water. I thought I was gonna die. I mean, it was terrible. I had headaches. I didn't feel good. I was ornery. Couldn't think straight. It was terrible. I got to tell you, I fasted for 5 days the first time. I started the fast on Christmas Day after our family dinner at 4 o'clock. Started the fast. Fasted for 5 days. No food at all, just water. Okay. Then I stopped because my wife and I have an annual celebration where we go to my favorite restaurant and we had a meal. And I couldn't break that. She threatened to make me sleep outside. And it's cold outside, so I didn't want to do that. So I ate for normal meals for 2 days. Then I went back on the fast again, fasted for 9 days. 9 days. Okay, that's amazing to me. I was just like, I'm reading a study going, I know all these people do it, but I did it. And I got to tell you, on the 9th day, my hunger level was no different than on the first day. I worked out every single day at the gym. All I had was the water and the electrolytes. I did start taking some peptide protein, just peptides, pure 100%, about a teaspoon of peptide, because I didn't want to burn muscle tissue. My test was this: can I move the fat thermostat? Can I move it? After we increase it by being on these crazy diets, could I found a secret weapon to help all of you and everybody else be able to get our fat thermostat back down? That was the study, right? And so I wasn't willing, though, to lose hydration or to lose muscle mass. Remember the doctor talk I told you why doctors are telling patients not to go on a diet? Well, I agree that that's a bad diet. Who in the world wants to lose weight if they're sacrificing their muscle and they're dehydrating themselves? Well, that's just, I'm sorry to say, I don't want to offend you, that's just stupid. Stupid. You are plaguing your body and riddling it with mountains of problems. Okay, that's just bad. So I wasn't willing to do that. I couldn't do it. So I weighed every single day. Now you're not supposed to do that either, but I had to make sure that I wasn't putting my body in harm. And you know what? So what did I do? I fasted for 5, then ate for 2, and fasted for 9. So 5 plus 9 is 14. So I fasted over 14 days, 14, and then I ate for 2, so 14 plus 2, 16. Over 16 days, I fasted 14 of them. Amazing, amazing. I lost 22 pounds. I haven't been below 200 pounds in 16 years. What? And I felt pretty good. This is what you don't want to do. Okay, so I'm having to find this out. I tell you guys not to miss your meals. Eat them on time. You don't want to put your body into a fasting state unless you're doing a ketogenic fast like the one I showed you. So I ate last night, ate my last meal last night, had breakfast this morning, but then when it came around lunchtime, I don't know, I got busy as working. And I guess I've been fasting for 14 days and forgot about food. I went about 2 hours, 2.5 hours past my time that I was supposed to eat. And oh boy, it didn't feel good. So I had my shake, and all I do is do phase 1 the week after a fast, right? No solid foods. And I just didn't feel good at all. Not good. So, just lightheaded, really, really low energy. Now I'm feeling a little bit better now as you guys are giving me energy. Thank you. Thumbs up. But I asked Hallie to kind of clue in because I don't push it too hard, right? I got to be here for you next week. So, I'm going to give you a full report because I'm not down to my previous fighting weight. My study isn't over yet. I'm going to go back on my fast again, but this is going to be after 1 week. 1 week of phase 1, and then I'll go back. So I'll keep you posted. I kept notes every day. It'll be fasting. I'll do a full write-up on it, and I'll give you some great data. So, cool stuff we do here. I want to remind those that are on the Freedom Train, and I'm going to poke some fun at you. I love you. You know I do. But a bunch of you signed up for the Freedom Train, and there still are 11 that have not turned in your assignment. Now your assignment is your story, personal story, and your personal video. Now, let me explain to you what will happen. I told you in the beginning, as much as I love you, that if you don't follow through with the assignments and requirements, you will not be part of the Freedom Train. Why? Why am I being so strict? Because it's important that you do these steps. You want to do these steps. Why? We have paid a lot of money to get this secret information. Everybody doesn't have what we know and what we're learning. It's an ongoing process, and I'm taking that data and dumping it right down to you. But you have to qualify yourself. And part of that qualification is those 2 assignments, all right? And if you can't do those 2 assignments, you won't be able to do the other things that I'm learning and Callie's learning that's going to make it unbelievably successful, all right? So let me tell you what kind of success we're talking about. Now, in network marketing and MLMs, they talk all the time about all you need is 10 people. And you get those 10 people, get 10 people, and those 10 people, and you'll have 1 billion people, right? Well, that story, though mathematically it's correct, it's really tough to do, okay? But let me tell you, there's a major game changer in that mathematical theorem, and that is the internet. If you know the code of how to get people to come to your page, your post, your blog, whatever you're posting, then the whole game changes. There are millions and millions of people, well, billions of people, but there are millions and millions and millions of people that want to hear your story. I promise you, your story. And you just don't know how to get at them. The answer is this thing that you're watching me on. And those that are on the telephone, it's that same technology, but just in the internet. All right? Let me give you an example. For you to just get 1 customer a day, 1 person that signs on a day in your group, what does that mean? Well, let me give you some very conservative numbers. In internet marketing, they base it on if you get 1,000 people, okay, that you send your message to, all you need, if you have a good message, like the one that we're going to show you how to do, you'll get between about 3% of those 1,000 people coming in. All right? So that's about 30 people. And out of those 30 people, all you need to get is about, you'll get about 3 to 5% of those people that actually buy your product. Okay, now I'm going to base it on entirely different numbers. I'm basing it on 1%. 1% of 1,000 and 1% of that group. All right? And so in those numbers, with you getting 1 person a day, which in your topic that I asked you to choose, there are millions of people, so don't worry about that. They're already looking. They're looking right now. And I'll tell you how to find them. But you got to do the assignment. Okay? So all you need is 1 person a day. You do that for 30 days, that's $1,800 a month for you. $1,800 in our plan, $1,800. And then you do that again, and now it's $3,600. And then you do it again a 3rd month, and it's $5,400. Now, if you just had 10%, not half of those people do the Freedom Train training that I'll show you, then by the 3rd month, that's $72,000 a month for you. Now that story sounds the same as any other MLM story, but here's the difference. We have the key of teaching you and us teaching them. You don't have to teach them. Teaching them how to do it on this tool right here, the internet. There are, in my group where we're learning, let me give you an example of how possible it is. So in my group that's learning the same stuff that I'm going to teach you, he is getting on one of his programs, just one of his programs. He has multiple. He's not a manufacturer of a product. He's just a guy, okay? And he goes out and just sells all kinds of different products. one of his products, he gets 250 people. It's automated. It's just automatic. 250 people coming in and signing on to his program every day at $97 a month. It's reoccurring. Now you do the math on that. Where's my calculator? See, I told you I'm not quite so sharp today. So that's 250 times 97 times, that's $24,000 a day, by the way, 30 days. That's $727,000 a month. Okay, he doesn't have what we have. Okay, remember a long time ago, I haven't used this word in a long time, we have staple items. What does that mean? It means that they can't go without food unless they go on a 14-day fast. But eventually, they'll have to have some food, and when they come off their fast, they'll have to have a phase 1 because they can't have solid food. It won't be healthy for them. They're buying food anyway, and they're having all the problems that America is having, the pain and the discomfort and everything else, right? So you have the solution for them. Turn in your assignment, or you won't be able to be in the train. So get it in. Don't forget, hurry up. We're having our training starting the week after next. I have my cheat sheets right here. What? There have been some questions about the carbohydrate inhibitor and the fat blocker, how they work. Well, any of you that want to know the written details, I have a long 17-page report that explains it in detail. If you go to support@3believe.com, we'll send it to you. In a short, all it is like fiber. What does fiber do? Fiber is a macronutrient, a carbohydrate, that your body cannot break down. It can't do it. We don't have the right digestive enzymes to do it. Cows can go out and eat grass, and horses can eat grass, and they can digest that. And what do they get from it? Proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, and they can live just fine. You and I go out there and eat it, we're going to starve to death because we can't break it down. Unless we injected the enzymes that they have in our stomach, and then we could digest it and we'd be nourished. But we can't break down fiber. Well, our fat blocker is turning, in a sense, doesn't chemically turn it, it just acts like your fat and your carbohydrate is a fiber. It just makes it so that it can't be digested. It blocks the chemical reaction that is necessary to get the calories from the fat and the carbohydrate. There is fat and carbs in the food that you're eating. It's there. You just don't digest it because of our magic 6 human clinical tests have proved that it works. Our magic ingredient. And lucky for you, we have it. Lucky for me, I have it. And that's one of our secret weapons. So if you want more detail about the information, send the request to support@3believe.com and ask for, I want the Just Like Fiber paper, and we'll send it to you. Merv asked me to talk just for a little bit. I gotta wrap it up here real quick. I mentioned about the new phase of the company, and it's about digestive enzymes. If you pay attention to the news, you'll see more and more reports that are coming out on the importance of digestive enzymes. You've heard me talk about it. It's always been part of our program, but I'm going to make some admissions. When I came out with our program, I wanted to make it better than anything else because what was out there was not good enough. So I made it good. I know it wasn't perfect. Now, it's one of my weaknesses. Many people tell me that I strive for perfection. Well, the Bible says that we should strive for perfection. It tells us that we won't be perfect, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't strive to it, right? Always improving. So in wanting to improve my formula, I've been looking for a new way to make our digestive program more complete, because it agonizes me. I feel the pain when people have allergies and resistance to certain foods, and they have a bad digestive gut, and it's terrible. And some of the new reports that are coming out, and one that I read recently made a bold claim, and it had the science to back it up, is that all, not some, all chronic disease is caused by a poor digestive enzymes in your stomach, a poor digestive flora. Now, when you're done, go and Google list of chronic diseases. You'd be amazed. It's long. It's a lot. And the study also said that the weakness in your digestive quality can also be cured if you got them back in. So that means it's reversible. Well, I already knew that. So it only got me excited for no reason. Now, here's why I haven't advanced on this sooner. Well, in order for me to be able to tell you what digestive enzymes you need specifically, I mean Bob instead of Mary, because we all have different mixes in your digestive stomach. In fact, the studies have shown that if you take two identical twins, so genetically they're the same person, right? Two identical twins, they live in the same house, they're eating exactly the same food, doing the same activities, living in the same environment, they will have different digestive enzymes, and how they digest different foods, they'll be different from each other. So digestive enzymes and how we digest our food is almost like our fingerprint. It's unique to us. It's like our own DNA coding. Well, I knew that, but I didn't know how to solve it. I don't know how to look in your stomach and say, I don't know what you are. The test for those, just a couple of years ago, was $7,000 a person. And it wasn't conclusive. They found that it varied. They ran the same exact test. They took two samples from the same person at the same time, ran them separately, and they'd get different results. And so it just wasn't a good roadmap how to solve the problem. Well, until now. So I've come across and made arrangements with a company that has done research, spent over $100 million in perfecting the technique that's consistent to knowing what your digestive enzymes are, exactly what they are. Not only that, how you're digesting it, and what foods you should and shouldn't be eating because you don't digest them very well. Your body isn't great at digesting that. So, guess what? The tests aren't $7,000. They knocked it down. It's about $1,500 a year. They have a yearly plan, but that's still a lot of money. So I've negotiating. I'm not finished yet, but I want to tell you it's much less than that. And so we're going to have a monthly plan that you can get on, and all your people on. It'll only be a few dollars more if you want to really take this to the next level, your health, and solve all those other chronic ailments. Remember, what's your next assignment? Go to Google and Google chronic illness, chronic disease, and you'll see the long list. And if your ailment is on there, it's a very good scientific chance that this will fix it. And then what we'll do is we'll have, because when you look at bacteria, now there's good bacteria and bad bacteria. And so I'm speaking bacteria in the case of enzyme or bacteria that breaks down and is in our gut. Well, then when you have enzymes and probiotics and prebiotics, they kind of manage that group together and they all work in one unison, right? Well, I can't customize your digestive enzymes. It'd take us too much time, and the cost of your bag of CMR would be outrageous. But all of these fall into certain categories. So when you get your test results back, it'll fit into a category, and I'll already have that premix of that individual category broke out. It'll all be ready for you. Now, it's true that some of you results will come back and say, Jason, I can't have whey protein. That's okay, we have peptide. Well, it'll come back and say, I can't have peptide protein. That's okay, we have vegetarian. And that's what we'll have. You'll fit into one of those three, and we'll have that for you. And it'll say in there things like, I'm supposed to have wheatgrass, and I'm supposed to have spirulina flour. Now, most of you don't even know what that is. And if you're in Waterloo, Illinois, Waterloo, Iowa, see, I told you I just not top of my game. You go down to the store and you try to buy some spirulina flour, and your grocer's going to look at you and thought you fell down and bumped your head. Wheatgrass is not sold on everywhere. Some of these things that the report's going to tell you to come out and eat are not going to be available, or it's not going to be very convenient, right? So some of you will say, I'm supposed to have asparagus. I hate asparagus. I personally love asparagus, but you hate it. But don't worry, because we're going to have blends, freeze-dried powdered blends, already mixed up, flavored, and so that you can add it to your CMR. We'll have it all ready for you. You don't have to go down to your grocery store. It'll already be there. Now, I'm not trying to tell you not to go out and have a nice mushroom or what did I say? Asparagus. It's just that you're not going to be doing it all the time. And I know that. It won't be convenient for you. Or maybe it's not in season and it won't be available. Right? But we'll have it for you. The future of nutrition is personalized nutrition. And you are going to be at the cutting edge. No one else in the world has this. This is how big of a deal this is. So I'm excited for it. And I'm so excited I just wore myself out. I'm really tired all of a sudden. So be excited about that stuff. Turn in your assignments. I appreciate you, love you, and glad that you took the time to be here. Callie is going to finish tonight's webinar, and she's got some great stuff. Now, pardon her, she's got a little bit of a cold, so if she coughs in the middle, say a little prayer for her. She's just about off. I told you that Utah was the biggest place. Now, it's just a little bit of a cold because she's been taking her enzymes and on the CMR, right? So, welcome, Callie. Thank you, everybody.
Hi, everyone. So as Jason mentioned, well, back on, actually, I want to talk a little bit about how he was explaining the enzymes, right? All the allergies. Well, I just thought about this, story where, I have an 8-year-old, and I was given the opportunity to bake cookies, right? So I'm coming up with, I have this amazing sugar cookie recipe. We'll come to find out there's several kids in the classroom who have allergies to flour. They're gluten-free. And so that's just one example where it's like that could help even the little children, education, having that available will be fantastic. So, along with that, I'm excited as well. So I'm here tonight to kind of give you guys a couple of stories, testimonials that I have actually experienced while I've been coaching. Now, I haven't been coaching as long as Jason has, and which I've learned so much from him. His knowledge has been great. So I just want to kind of go over a couple to kind of give you guys perspective of that you can help others, and there's so many people out there that can benefit from the 3Believe program. So I had notes and the printer ran out of ink, so if my memory is not as sharp as it should be, please bear with me. So we've all had, experiences as children, right? We're all traumatized, right? We can be teased or whatever. And this one particular person was because of weight, right? And I mean, kids can be mean in general, but can you imagine going through your childhood, going through all of that, and then entering into adult life and being on over 30 diets, 30 diet programs, right? And have had no success, right? Granted, she did lose some, and, and then, the emotional part of it as well. So it's been a journey for her. And so we've been coaching her for just over a year. And, I'm so excited because tonight when she came into the office, she hit a new benchmark of her weight. And her look on her face was absolutely priceless. And she has shared her story with us and her journey of being ridiculed and teased and all this stuff through all of her, her life, and having the opportunity that we give, that hope, is, I'm speechless. It was so exciting to just see her, and she's like, oh, I'm just so glad to have finally found the solution. And it's been an amazing opportunity for her. And she actually has, even though she hit a new benchmark, she's actually maintained and keep losing her weight over time. And that's what we want to see. We want to see that, and more importantly, is her hydration keeps going up and her muscle keeps going up. So she's learning how to eat a certain, drink her water and exercise, and the emotional part of it, which has been an amazing experience for me to see as well. And also another story I want to share with you all is, we're all, women, with kids and everything, being a new mom is exhausting sometimes, right? And, this lady she came to me and she looked tired and worn out, right? And it's, and I could relate. It's the sleepless nights and all of that, right? And she had only gained 17 pounds through her entire pregnancy, which is not a whole lot, considering, on average, you kind of want to gain at least 30 to 35 pounds. Some people are over that, but, she's like, I only gained 17 pounds, and I don't know what happened. After I delivered my child, she gained 22 more pounds. Now, she had tried she's actually a returning client, which is fantastic because she was on the program. She did it strictly. She weaned herself off, was on the maintenance phase, and she kept it off for 6 years. So, that's an amazing in itself, where it works, right? The program works. The 3Believe program works, right? And so she's like, help me, please. Like, I'm not sure what to do, and granted, like, with having a new baby, your hormones get kind of out of whack. Well, she got that all in check. She went actually to another diet program and gained more weight. I mean, talk about discouraging, right? And so the nutritionist and the nutritionist, I mean, she went on like a kind of like a low carb diet, and but I mean, she said she was eating so much protein that she couldn't physically eat that much in a day, where, when you're getting too much protein, that's not a good thing either. That's the reason Jason has developed our proteins, where it's the 22, the 6, and the 3, for the, because when your body's absorbing all the nutrients and things, your body doesn't require much protein in itself because it's absorbing it all. And so she's like, I knew you guys' program worked. I'm here. Let's do this again. So in 3 weeks, she is down 6 pounds, right? And not only that, but she's lost 5 pounds of pure fat. And her hydration's up, her lean muscle mass is up. And yesterday when she came in, she was like having a new beat to her step. I mean, she was excited. She's like, finally, I'm not gaining any more weight. I'm actually losing. And she has the energy. She completely went off all of her caffeine. I mean, she was drinking Diet Coke like crazy because being a new mom, sleepless nights and the fatigue that you experience. I mean, she's like, oh, I'm so glad that I've decided, I'm a firm believer. Now, this is 7 years of being a firm believer. And so, I mean, those are just some of the examples that I get to experience on a daily basis. But the thing is, it's, even though, I'm talking about the weight loss, right, of the metabolic syndrome symptoms, but there's a whole other, I mean, the list goes on, right? I coach a girl or a lady who has a chronic fibromyalgia, and when she came to the office a couple days ago, I almost didn't recognize her. I mean, it was unbelievable. The color came back in her face. She's happy again. And those are just, I mean, the list can go on with all these experiences and your guys' experiences and the videos that we're watching and the stories that we're reading. I mean, I am speechless. I thank you for sharing your experiences and your testimony about the 3Believe products in the wellness program. And it's very inspirational to me to know that there's so much more that we can all offer. Now, the first woman that I talked about, she's now teaching others, because we're all wanting to be those teachers and the coaches about this, awesome products, right? What Jason has done and the amount of work that we're about ready to launch and do all this training. I mean, I'm just excited to know that there's so many more people that we can reach, and we can't do it alone. We have to have you guys along right next to us. And I'm excited, I'm energetic, I'm happy, and let's go, right? So I just wanted to share some of those testimonials with you all, and hope you guys find value in them. And we have plenty more. If you want to know more, we can definitely send those to you, even more on the website. So it's almost 9 minutes to 8, and Jason's actually unmuting you all. Merv? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay. Does anybody have questions for us tonight?
Did you receive my personal story? This is Adam.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
Oh, good.
Good. Yes, let's hear it.
All right. That's all. We're overwhelmed.
Adam, are you there?
Yeah, I'm over here.
Let's hear your-
Right.
Did you say you have a personal story?
No, if you guys receive my personal story.
Oh, that you sent in?
Yeah, he's with the Freedom Train,
Oh.
and he wanted to make sure that you received his written documentation as well as his video.
Yes, I did see it come through. I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for that.
I don't know how to say it, but that's it for me.
Oh.
You know how to say it. You know how to say it.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Sylvia, you got any questions?
Okay.
All right.
Do you know that do we have vitamin D in our 3Believe mix?
What's that?
Well, that's a sunshine in a pill.
Actually, we're one of the very, very few sources that have both vitamin vitamin D2.
D and do works together.
What you have to do if you take and eat it early in the morning when the sun's coming up.
That's right. Very
vitamin
good.
D2 and vitamin D3. The answer is yes, we have them both.
Awesome. There's been articles out about that, how it takes care of cancer and various other things, but I know we are above that even more so.
Thank you. Yes, well, I try to keep up on everything and make sure that we have the absolute most cutting stuff in the formula. You only deserve the best.
Well, I know. Thank you for thinking of us, but not just us, the other people out there that needs us.
Yes. All right, that's our goal. Any other questions? Thank you for that. Well, if that's it, I think that's a wrap. I'm going to personally go and have my last shake for the day. And have any of you tried it hot yet? Are we going to have ours hot?
No.
It's wonderful during the winter. I admit that sometimes people kind of shy away from having a cold shake when it's cold, especially the women. But hey, I'm a manly man, but I'm converted. Callie got it going, and I've converted, and I love it. But here's the rule: when you do a hot shake, this is how you got to do it. You got to boil or heat the water first, then add the powder and the oil. Do not take and mix it, the powder and the oil, and then heat it. You got to heat the water separately and then pour it in, or it will kill and reduce the quality of the nutrients. But I got to tell you, it tastes like, what's one of our favorites? We like chocolate orange is fantastic. Chocolate mint is great.
So there's a butter rum that the flavoring is like, those little candies, like the little butterscotch candies.
Yeah. And that's delicious. And I love the vanilla cinnamon is hot is great. So just play with it. If that's been a problem, you'll find it very refreshing.
Okay, sounds good. But you say you put your mix and stuff like in a cup, and then you take hot water and pour in it.
Yeah, what I like to do is, like, let's say I'm going to use, I put a little bit of almond milk or cashew milk in my mix. So I'll take the cashew milk, unheated, and then I'll put my powder in that. And I'll put it in that so I have a little bit of liquid. I'll heat the water and then add the water to the pre-mix. That's one way. Or if you are using a blender, then just take the water, get it boiling, pour it in your blender, and then just add your powder and oil, and then just blend it up.
Okay, excellent. I was wondering if it was going to kill the ingredients in it.
It won't unless you heat it in the microwave or in the pot separately.
Okay, great, good stuff.
Now, so as the close, so who looks younger?
You both are equal. How about that? We'll let it go that way.
Good answer.
Right.
Good answer. All right. Happy New Year. Thank you. I appreciate you. God bless you all.
Take care. You feel better, Jason.
Thank you. I just let that.